The other aspect of what we do that is, we're working with organisations who have got to respond to these challenges. They've got to do a much better job, and they're going to face a lot of problems down the road. And this includes national governments, so governments of countries where there is chronically poor infrastructure at the moment. They've got to really up their game. So one of the things for us is trying to help improve those governance systems, but do it in a way where we're not sort of tied into their pockets either. It's really important that we aren't window dressing for failing institutions. So it's very important. When I got involved with Akvo from late 2006, and at the time, there was a sense of we were part of the outside, of a new breed of people on the outside that wanted to do things differently. But it's really important, if you're going to create an organisation that's on a sustainable financial footing, you've got to build a business model, and it was really important that we established a way of working with all of the existing kinds of organisations that are out there, but we had one foot inside that world, but also one on the outside, and really embracing the whole values of open source and sort of transparency have been really key there, haven't they, Jo?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's important to the culture of how we work, and I think it's important to making things happen faster as well.
So one of the things I was going to say is that a lot of the time a lot of the issues I think that come up are that people are paid not to do other things. So most organisations tie up their people doing really stupid stuff, and they've got a lot of talent in them, but they just don't really unleash that talent very well. And I've been arguing recently that I think the next wave of innovation in the world isn't about information technology. Everybody always thinks it's about new technology. I think the technology is great now. I mean, the kind of devices we have now, we can go a hell of a long way with those things now. All of the design patterns that were set with things like the iPhone, once that happened, and with Android, it's kind of there now, and we've got this terrific way of being able to iterate and build on that. But the technology isn't really what's going to drive things next, but I think it's organisation and how we organise and the kind of organisations we create in future that will be the difference between us getting to 2065 and the world looking like a mess, or getting to 2065 and actually us being able to be pretty proud of where we've got to in terms of infrastructure compared to now. Because if you go through, so I was in Bolivia, in La Paz. It's 12,000 feet up in the mountains, and extraordinary city. But as you come out, the slums on the out up the hills, the whole place is just we've got these environments just are not being created in a way that's going to work for the long term, and if how we get to a situation where it's just no longer acceptable to just be building really, really bad infrastructure. And how do you get the co-financing in place? How do you get the right kind of financing? How do you get the right kind of skills in place? And how does that interact? Those groups interact with others, so that you've got these communities of best practice that really start to emerge.
I think there's also something about the need for speed, to speed things up, because the problems that that we're facing globally are so pressing now, so environmental issues and things like that we need to tackle things quickly. So from that point of view, the need to organise really well is just really coming to the fore. The need to organise, to collaborate, to share, to not waste time reinventing the wheel, but just to get stuff done quickly. And I think that's part of kind of our approach in terms of helping organisations to just the right hand see what the left hand's doing.
Yeah. So that's a bit of a introduction to what we do.